If you are a mercenary and you are hired to take out a target, you definitely should already know what your target looks like. I don't know any trained assassins, thank God.
Oh, the movie's starting.
So let's analyze the DCP&J interview. She places the start of the gunfire around 1 a.m. She said it lasted between 30 to 45 minutes before the attackers entered her house and entered her room. The attackers enter the room and they shoot at them. Now, with her testimony, she implies that Jovenel was tortured before he died and that she was with him the entire time. Before the attackers left, to confirm that she was dead, they turned her face up and then they pinched her toes to confirm no movement.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
Why would they do that? They're professional assassins. But for Jovenel, they point blank shot him. They shot him multiple times. Okay. And now we're moving to the CNN interview where she says the gunfire started around 1 a.m. and then minutes later, the gunmen enter the house. At this point in time, Jovenel was alive, unhurt, as the people were ransacking the rooms looking for things. But what's different between the DCP&J interview and the CNN interview, in the DCP&J interview, she says a video call was placed and the person on the other end was confirming that this was Jovenel. But in the CNN interview, she says a phone call was placed, a phone call, and the persons were describing what Jovenel looked like. And the person on the other end must have confirmed that this was him.
An attacker approached her husband, at this point still alive and unhurt, and got on the phone. She says that person called someone and described what my husband looked like, saying he was tall, skinny, and black. Maybe the person on the phone confirmed to the shooter that was him, and they shot him on the floor.
What? What?
I don't think trained assassins would not know what their target looks like. I don't think they need to get on the phone to describe what the man looks like before they take him out, because it doesn't make any sense. Now, let's move on to the Local 10 interview, where things actually get extremely interesting. With the DCP&J interview, she states that it started at 1 a.m. With the CNN interview, she says it started at 1 a.m. But with Local 10, she says that it started just after midnight.
It was just after midnight on July 7th when Martine says she began to hear the sound of gunfire.
What? What?
And it lasted between 30 to 40 minutes. There's only one other person who stated that the shooting started after midnight, and that's going to be Michel Martelly, because Michel Martelly states that he got a phone call around 12:20, and his friend tells him that there has been shooting going on for about 30 to 40 minutes at the president's house. So with the Local 10 interview, she left the room to go hide her children because she feared for their safety and told them to hide in the brother's bathroom and not make any noise.
Windows. With her own safety in jeopardy, she thought about her two children who were in the house.
I went to the kids' room because I know that they were panicking. I didn't want them to come to us. So I went to them. There's a room. In their room, I asked them to go there because in that room there's no window. So I asked them to stay there with the dog, so to keep quiet.
And I'm just like, what? That's crazy. Because when you go ahead and take into account Jo Marley's testimony, which is going to be the daughter says that she hears the shooting around 1 a.m. and that when she heard the shooting, she went to her brother's room to go hide. She didn't say that her mom took her there. She said she immediately went to her brother's room to go hide. She mentions nothing about Martine. Mom is not the one who told her to go hide. Mom is not the one who told her to go hide. And the first time Jo Marley even mentioned seeing her mom is when, after everything was done, and she looked up and she saw her mom was sitting by the stairs all bloodied with the maid. So Did Martine leave the room to go tell her children to hide? Or did she leave the room to go do something else? Because that's what I'm unclear about in this Local 10 interview. Because again, she mentioned nothing about these kids in the first couple of interviews, but in the Local 10 interview, now she's a heroic mom who is moving around the house, trying to protect her children. The timeline of everything kind of just shifts a little bit, right? When we analyze the New York Times interview, she implies that the shooting starts around 1 a.m., but here's the kicker. She closed her eyes before the shooting and she stayed face down the entire time everything was happening.
What? What?
She closed her eyes, so she didn't see anything. She had a lot to say in the DCP&J interview of what she saw. In the CNN interview of what she saw. Even in the Local 10 interview, she saw a whole bunch. But in the New York Times interview, she didn't see nothing. She didn't see nothing. Okay,